a reactor. I just react. If you know, you should, man. At this point, you should know, bro. You should. I'm like, it's 332 videos out, bro. If you don't know, you should know. But anyways, today I'm gonna be reacting to suicide attempt survivor. What did the name say? I have no clue. We're just gonna go with that. We're just gonna roll with that one. I'm gonna be rolling. But like, share, comment, subscribe. Hate it if you hate it. Like it if you like it. Like the video if you like the video. I'm serious. Without further ado, let's get into the video, man.
All right, Jordan.
Hello.
Jordan.
Jordan.
Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
Grew up in Spokane, Washington. Born and raised there. Lived there for 24 years now.
Now, I was like, I could say a lot about this, the word suicide within itself. I could say a lot, but I'm just going to say, man, I got a video on my channel. It's called I Went to the Mental Hospital for 5 days. That explains everything.
And I'm sure that's where I'll stay.
You like Spokane?
Yeah, definitely. It's got its ups and downs, but I think for a city, it's just right. So,
tell me about your childhood.
Childhood was pretty good. To start, my mom and dad, they were together, and I think it was that way probably until I was 6 or 7 years old. Then they split up. I maintained a pretty good relationship with both of them. Even though they kind of didn't get along, I think that they realized that they butted heads, but they didn't want it to really affect how they raised me. So I feel I had a good relationship with both of them growing up, and it was pretty normal, Did school, lived right across the street from my school, and so.
You graduated high school?
Did not graduate high school. I got my GED, and I did an alternative program. So for me, high school was it was kind of hard to show up on time at 7 in the morning or so. So it was a little tough. I never really had a problem, with the schoolwork or anything like that. It was just being there and being on time. So I think that was probably the toughest part of school, and probably the reason why I didn't graduate. But I did get the GED and moved on with that.
So you're 24 now.
Yep.
A few years ago, you got in some trouble, though.
Yes, back in 2020, yes.
Tell me what happened.
Yeah, so I guess the way to start that would be I was a drinker probably from the age of 16 till the age, even before that, I drank most of my life, even as a child. But it picked up and got serious where I was drinking every weekend and then daily around the age of 21. But from probably 16 to 21, I was drinking heavily. And back in April of 2020.
You know what's crazy is that's one thing I had sat here and really thought about. I was like, bro, that's one thing I do not understand at all. Like, I don't understand how people become like drinkers. Like, I just can't do it. Like, I don't like soon as I smell alcohol, it's like I walk away. Like, I can't do it. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how people really can drink like that. Like, I really don't. I really can't, bro. I promise you, dude. I take like 4-5 sips. Kid you not, and that's it. The whole day. Like, I'm not doing that. Oh, we finna do 3-4 shots. I'm not, I'm barely gonna finish the first one. Why would I do 4? Like, what are you, bro? But I don't know. Like, that's crazy, man. Like, I really, cause what?
Father had passed away, and with drinking being my only outlet, it really just sent me into a downward spiral of how I dealt with my emotions because I really didn't deal with them. And so 3 months, or let's see, April, May, June, July. So 4 months later, in July of 2020, I was on a bender, probably 3 or 4 days at least, and that was leaving work, driving home, going right to the bar, passing out drunk, waking up, doing it all again, and then the weekend.
Hold on, wait. He said leaving. I think he said going to work, going to the bar, then doing it all over again.
Weekend. Came home Saturday night, Sunday morning. One night, probably it was closing the bar down, so it had to be 1:30, 2 a.m. And just it kind of came to a head. Everything in my life, with my dad passing away, a lot of problems in the family with just family struggles with addiction and conflict and stuff like that. It all came to a head one night in July 2020. I came home completely blacked out drunk. I went in my room and I had a Glock 26 that I always kept loaded just for home.
Now we're leading up to it. Here we go. Wow. I ain't gonna lie.
And stuff like that. I've been an avid outdoorsman, really like shooting and things like that. Went home, got my Glock 26, loaded the sucker, and within a matter of having it, it was probably a couple minutes. I loaded it, and then I put it up into my mouth like that to the roof, and I didn't even think. I squeezed.
Bro, don't Stop, man. I'm making a video, man. You messing it up, man. Stop. Man, why you keep doing that shit, man? I told you about that. Man. Bro said he didn't even think about it, bro. How's that? Wow.
Whole gun. That's how I remember. I don't remember pulling the trigger. I remember squeezing the whole gun because I was just freaking out. I was freaking out. So I squeezed it. The gun went off, and then I had shot myself. I had attempted suicide, and it was a Glock 9mm with a jacketed hollow point round, Sig Sauer plus P ammunition.
Oh my god!
I tried to buy the best stuff I could for defense or whatever, and yeah, so it was a pretty powerful round, and it went inside the roof of my mouth, into my brain, broke apart in there because it was a hollow.
How are you here? Oh my gosh, by the grace of God. Because how? How are you here? Do y'all hear what he's saying? He just said that his brain split apart. Is y'all listening to this man? It said that his brain, ain't no way. Your brain split apart.
Point. And it split my face open. You can kind of see there the lines and where it kind of blew my nose apart. And actually, real quick, this would be a good time to.
No, please. No. Oh, what did he just take out? Oh my gosh. Oh, come on, man. I'm trying to eat, man. Dang.
So I wear these Invisaligners, and they're like braces, but they're way more comfy. And this is the results of the accident after about 2 years of surgeries and repairs. So I got a big gap there. There used to be a hole there. They had to do a bone graft, so they had to put a metal appliance that hung out of my mouth that I would tighten it, and it would push the bone over. And over time, it created a new space for bone to be put in and grafted in.
The hole in the roof of your mouth?
Yeah. So, I mean, you probably won't be able to see it, but it's just a crack now. So it's not smooth. It's not like the typical roof of your mouth, but there is room for an implant that they plan to put in there. And
Your eyes are fine?
yeah, eyes are fine. My eyes, growing up, I was diagnosed with keratoconus, which is like a cornea disease. So the way they explained it is that my cornea is shaped like like the end of a football, opposed to like a basketball. It's supposed to be nice and circular, and it's shaped. It's all pointed. So my right eye is like horrible vision. Everything's blurry. The left eye is perfect 20/20 vision, and which is crazy because that's where most of the damage was done from the bullet. So if I would have messed up my eye, that would have left me, potentially blind, and yeah, that would have been no good. So going back to what happened with that night, like I said, I was blacked out drunk, but the second I pulled the trigger or squeezed on it, two things happened. One, I sobered up immediately. Like immediately, it was like I went from being blacked out drunk to like I knew what happened. And then number two was, excuse my language, but what I had said to myself was, "You dipshit, you actually did it." I remember saying that to myself. And another way that worked out was, I'm gonna pop these back in.
Pop.
It's all right. So the way that worked was after I had shot myself. I had, I guess, what they would call an out of body experience. It felt like I was glued to my ceiling with my arms and my legs just sprawled out, and I was stuck with my back to my ceiling looking down at myself. So I actually seen myself laying on the floor, and that's when I said to myself, "You dipshit, you actually did it." Because I don't think that I knew I was in a depressive place, but I don't think my true intention was to shoot myself. I think I was just so black.
That's my thing, though. It's like we always try to throw anything in there to like excuse it, but the reality of it is like you don't grab a gun and put it in your mouth by mistake. Because you really feeling something inside that's so deep and so dark that it makes you feel the need to grab a gun. Because he said you actually did it, which means he's had previous thoughts about doing it, but it would just pass by the next day, then the next day, and then it always leads up. It always, you know, because I was like, this is one of the things a lot of people struggle with. He's just the one that's talking about it. A lot of people struggle with stuff like this, and a lot of people, it's hard to live in this world that's painted, so black, but it looked beautiful. But it's like I understand what he's trying to say, and I don't judge him as a person at all for the incident that happened with him, because at the end of the day, it's like things happen, and how we feel, we just can't let how we feel dictate everything, you know. It's like what I say to myself is one foot in front of the other, you know. But yeah.
Drunk. That's why I say I squeezed on the gun. I didn't really pull the trigger. I was just the anxiety, the stress of it all. I squeezed, and then it went off.
See?
And then
y'all see what he's
like,
saying?
Dipshit,
the stress, the anxiety. What does that all stem from? What does that all stem from? What does stress and anxiety stem from?
Did it. And from there, it was no turning back. I was in a coma, and that's a whole another story in its own. I mean, being in a coma, before my injury, I've heard people say it's kind of like being in a video game. And to be honest with you, that's exactly what it was like for me. There was one point where I had envisioned myself as I was in a Mario Kart in downtown Seattle. I'm not from Seattle, I'm from Spokane. But for some reason, I was in downtown Seattle driving a Mario Kart around, and it was really weird. That was one thing that happened. And then, that kind of makes it sound all good and fun, but then there was a lot of stuff where, like, there was this lingering sense of regret and, like, something wrong had happened, but I didn't, I was in Mario Kart land. I didn't know what the heck was wrong, but I knew something was wrong, and that feeling would not go away until I woke up and they said, you know why you're here? It's because you shot yourself. And I was like, oh, I still remember to this day, my exact reaction was just like that, was, oh, yeah, because I had forgotten everything up until they told me.
What were you going through at this moment when you decided to shoot yourself? I understand you were depressed and drunk, but
it was.
Have you been like?
Yeah, oh yeah, I've struggled with anxiety and depression most of my life, and
suicidal ideas.
Yep, for sure. I was I used to be really like big into self harm. I got.
Well, I'm gonna be right back. I gotta get some so I can ask this. I ain't never did that though. That's one thing that I won't do. I won't do is like the self harming stuff. I can't do the self harming stuff. Like I don't know. Like when I was at the hospital, at the mental hospital. I mean, it was a lot of people that have done it, and I seen them and they showed it to me. But it was like I just can't do it. Like I can't. Like I can't.
Bars, cigarette.
Do you know if you might have borderline personality disorder?
I've never been diagnosed with it, but I mean, hell, at this point, not much would surprise me. So, I got scars on the arms. It's real goofy, but one side was burns, the other side was cuts. And while everyone else was getting tattoos my age, coming up through high school, I was putting packs of cigarettes out on myself to. And that's another thing that I determined.
Bro, are you serious right now? Are you serious? Are you serious? Hold on, wait. I gotta get a damn lighter. This shit about to get on my nerves, man. Bro. You know it's crazy. I have just enough for a lighter, bro. This is about to irritate me. Come on, man. God. Ah! I gotta go to the gas station real quick, bro. Hold on. I'm gonna be back. Man. I'm gonna be right back. No, this is not getting edited out, so I don't know what to tell you. I'm gonna be right back. Subscribe, man. back. Told y'all, man. Said I was gonna be right back, man. Just gotta wait on me. How long was that? I don't know. But let's get it.
Was like I was creating this version of myself that it wasn't really who I was. It was like this hard, mean guy that people wouldn't want to interact with. So it was like a way to protect myself, if that makes any sense. If I shut you guys out first, you don't have a chance to shut me out. So I just became the worst, scariest, crappy person you could imagine in high school, and even right out of high school. It took a long time for me to shake out of that. I'm obviously not the same person that I'm explaining right now. It's been 3 years since the accident,
Yeah,
and
you seem very positive and
yeah, it's a lot of good has come out of it. I mean, I had every opportunity to just fold and let this all break me, and in more ways than one. I mean, the way I told people getting out of the hospital was like I had the golden ticket for like pain pills. They were throwing oxycodones at me like crazy, and they helped sometimes. But I remember telling my oral surgeon at one point, like, I don't need these. You know what I mean? Like, it's just I'm not feeling the pain. So many nerves in my face got destroyed from the gunshot that, to be honest with you, I didn't have.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. That's a lot to think about, man. Wow. It's that many nerves up in here. It's that many nerves.
A lot of pain through all this. I was recently in a car accident actually where I fractured a rib. That was way worse than the injury with the gunshot. So I had to kind of tell him like easy up with the.
You trying to compare a gunshot to a damn broken rib? Man, it ain't no comparison, man. Ain't no comparison.
Pain meds, and that was. I caught myself with that one because, like I said earlier, my family has struggled with addiction before, and I have too, with more than just alcohol. And I grew up. I used a lot of party drugs. Smoking weed.
Weed is not a party drug, bro. Molly is a party drug. Crack is a party drug. Meth is a party drug. Weed is not a party drug. Weed is just something to ease your senses, to ease your mind. It's just something to ease you, something to edge you out, something to make you a little more comfortable, a little more open, a little less pessimistic, more optimistic. I'm just saying.
I did get involved into using some pills when I was younger, and they were Oxycontins. That's what I was doing when I was younger. So when they started throwing these, pain pills at me, I really had to. I realized that I was wanting to make a change, so I kind of was upfront with them and said, like, I probably don't need all these. So.
Has your personality changed drastically since before that shooting?
Yeah, for sure. I used to be really like just shut in and introverted. You would never catch me like dressing up or like talking to people. And nowadays, that's probably my two favorite things to do is get all good and dressed up. And
what in your attitude has changed?
I think mostly my outlook in life, and so even like for example, on my really really bad days where everything just seems to be not working out, I'm still just grateful to be here because I've seen the alternative, and like being in that coma with that feeling of regret is like my worst day alive is better than that. So that's kind of what helped change my outlook on life and become less introverted and wanting to be more helpful. That's another thing that's changed too, is how much helping people has meant to me. I started working in healthcare after this. I started volunteering at a local church of mine, a local homeless shelter, telling my story, giving a testimony, they call it. And I remember the first time I did one at Union Gospel Mission. It's a homeless shelter in my city. I was really nervous because I kind of just came in and freestyled it. I didn't prepare nothing, just told my story, and a lot.
Ready to start eating healthier? Meet Kachava.
I
Kachava
gotta
is
give
the
him
world's
credit.
healthiest
I
all-in.
gotta give him credit, bro. It take a lot to tell, a deep story like that.
And a lot of these people were, they were homeless. So, and I haven't dealt with a lot of, street characters like that. So at first I was a little intimidated. And I'll never forget the first guy that came up to me, shook my hand, and gave me the tightest handshake and the tightest hug I'd ever had from another human, let alone another random man. And he told me thank you for sharing my story, and it meant a lot to him. And that's when I realized, like, there's something there that it would be selfish to try to keep to myself, because it was really painful at first. I did try to hide it, but like before the gunshot, I was really introverted. So much so to the point where after it happened, none of my family or friends wanted to even tell anyone in fear of how I might react, because I was just a jerk. So it was kept secret for as long as it pretty much could. And then, once you come out with scars and, at the top of your head is shaved, you can only hide that for so long. So that's when I kind of determined that, there's no hiding it. It was a really bad situation, but it helped a lot in order to change my outlook and change my life to the point where I wouldn't have had it any other way right now.
Your mom is here with us. Do you mind if I bring her out? I'd love to hear her perspective on what happened.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's bring Jody out.
Jody.
All right. So Jody, you were with Jordan when this happened?
Yeah, I was home sleeping when it happened. When he got home, he came in drunk, which he's done before, and I had to work the next day, so I was just trying to calm him down, because he was obviously irritated, something, but it wasn't uncommon for a night of partying, and so I asked him, please, try to keep down, I got to work in the morning, and he just was talking gibberish. I couldn't even really understand what he was saying, and he kind of went on a little bit, and then he was sitting in my window, and he got up to leave, and I was like, oh, good, he's going to go to sleep. Well, he got to my doorway, and right when he got to the doorway, he just took a gun and put it in his mouth and shot himself.
You saw this happen?
Yeah. I saw it happen. He dropped to the floor like a rag doll. Like there was no life in him. I mean, literally, didn't even look like he had bones. It was just like hit the floor. And my oldest son was home down in the basement. I was yelling for him, one of us, to please call 911. Neither one of us could dial the phone. It was a very, very scary time. Then, we finally did call 911, and they got there pretty quick.
We went back and were able to read all the EMT statements, and I think it was from the time we called to the time that they had me in the ambulance, it was like under 10 minutes. So, maybe nothing spectacular, but for just a random call at 2 a.m, it's not bad. So.
But at first I knew he was dead because he didn't move. There was blood on my floor, and I saw him hit the floor like a rag doll.
Was his behavior, were there any indications that something like this could have happened before it did?
With Jordan, he's very private. He doesn't really share a lot. So, not really. I knew he was depressed about his father passing because it wasn't really expected. He was young.
57 years old. Died of heart failure, kidney failure. So drinking's bad. Some people can do it. I can't. You probably shouldn't either. So.
Yeah. And that mixed with his drinking is, And one thing he didn't mention is when he did do it, he instantly regretted it. It was instant regret. So.
Yeah.
How was Jordan's personality or his behavior or his attitude changed since the accident?
Well, he found God through all this.
Amen.
He quit drinking.
3+ years. Amen.
He's much more pleasant to be around.
Amen.
He's respects other people. He's a good kid. I mean, he's a lot different. He's a better person.
He's lucky as well.
You don't know how many times I've heard that. I've had doctors come in my room and say, "You're a very lucky kid. You're a very lucky man," and I'm just laid there, hopped up on wherever the heck they got me on, and like, thanks. I mean, yeah, it was. I feel that, and I truly understand that now. But it took a little bit for that to set in.
Do you have any more dark moments?
Oh, heck yeah! I mean, I've never.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I was like, a lot of people don't understand about people that feel things so deeply. It's like, as much as people think it's such thing as like it just floating away in the sky and just disappearing in the thin air, it's way harder than that. It's way more complicated than that. Like me, I was like, I have these moments, like it'd be 5 second, 10 second moments where I think about certain things that I probably shouldn't be thinking about. And then like for like 5 minutes I'm like really mad, and then I'm running around the house talking to myself. And then like I sit down for like 3 minutes, and then I'm like, alright bro, you know what? Forget it. Then I watch a funny video, and then I'm back.
To where I was, but I still deal with depression and anxiety. It's just nowadays I've got a better system in place on what I do with it. So when I start having like a really bad day or a really bad week, I'm not gonna treat that by going out and getting friggin' hammered every night. You know, if it gets bad enough, I'm gonna talk about it. Talk with my counselor. Talk with my doctor. You know, I'm on medications now that have helped me a lot. I was really apprehensive about those at first too, because I didn't want to be like the guy that's on crazy pills or anything. But after they explained them to me and kind of explained what they did, I was like, okay, there's a little I'm not getting enough of something in my brain, and this is going to help me get a little more of that. And so that made sense. I'm a little more proactive now for sure, in what I do with my depression and my anxiety.
What are your plans for the rest of your life?
That's the $1 million question, isn't it?
It always is, man. It always is, but I'm finna take a shower and get ready to go. If you stayed to the end, I appreciate you. I do. For real, I do. If you stayed through that 5 minutes, I really appreciate you, man. I do. You're a real one. But if you didn't, maybe next time I'm out, man. Catch y'all in the next one.